Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Grove podcast. Yes, no mods today, unfortunately. Life gets in the way. We do this as a hobby. We do this for fun. So not unfortunately, we can't always make it. But to fill his very big shoes, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job. And welcome back, Jamie. Jamie, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much, Tabs.
Good, good. How's the international break been treating you? How's your non-Arsenal for 2 weeks been like?
Well, it's basically been non-football for me for 2 weeks. I've not watched any of it at all. I've stayed well away. I did quite enjoy hearing about some of it, but yeah, that's about as much as I've done.
No, likewise. I've caught a few things on social media and whatnot. But anyway, good job in the show notes. Then that I've made a list of what our players have been up to, so you can cheat sheet off that. So look, anyway. So today we're just going to have a quick look at where we are at Arsenal at the moment and what fixtures will be coming up, and then we're going to do basically a preview of the Bournemouth game, which is our early evening, late afternoon kickoff live on TV on Saturday. So currently Arsenal are lying in third, played seven, scored 15, let in six, so goal difference of 9 on 17 points. So yeah, we're out there. But I think also flying under the radar. Just it's nice to be sitting there. Don't have to be at the top to be shot at. Now's not the time to be there. So it's just, as I think I said in the last pod, it's just about accumulating points, getting points, just being thereabouts. So yeah, Jamie, how do you feel like our first 7 games have gone this season? How do you feel about our current status, the current way where we are, how things are going so far?
Pretty fantastically, to be honest. I think we're a couple of dodgy decisions away from being on 21 points. If I'm completely frank,
I
is
agree.
the way that I sort of look at it. So yeah, I mean, aside from dodgy cards that cost us a couple of games, I think it's been brilliant. The team looks really mature. Is probably the main thing, and also that we've dealt with so many injuries, which we haven't necessarily had so many injuries across a bunch of starters all at one time under Arteta that I can really remember. Um, that we've dealt with that and continued to get results has been brilliant.
No, I agree. It is those, what's it called? Those accumulative injuries. The injuries all in one place.
Yeah.
Thank God we did buy another left back because with Zinchenko injured, Tomiyasu injured, Calafiori even had a bit of an injury, Timber still in and out, and stuff like that. It's just nuts. So it's those cluster injuries. I think that's the thing they go, and that's what killed us a couple of seasons ago. It wasn't just Saliba getting injured; it was Saliba and Tomiyasu in the same game at the same time. That meant Rob Holding comes in, and God bless him, but we were always going to be vulnerable there. So I think we're better able to cope now. Our squad's better. Our squad's bigger. Well, not bigger. Our squad's better. So we've got more trusted people, more reliable people that we can bring in, and that has shown. So no, absolutely. I'm with you. I think I said in the last pod I was a bit fearful that we could have been 6 points after 5 games because of our fixtures, but we did fantastically well, and 17 points, sitting in third. Yeah, I think it's a good place to be. We can't really complain considering the fixtures and what's come to us. So actually, talking of that now, we seem to do this in blocks. So we had the first set of games before the first international break. Then we had the games in between the last international break and this one, and now we've got this next block of sevens, and we've got some tough games in there. A couple at home, couple away. Champions League as well. But then we should also have a couple of in inverted commas straightforward games where we can got a chance to rotate those players. So we've got. We started with Bournemouth at the weekend. Then we've got a home to Shakhtar, a home to Liverpool, away to Preston. And then we've got 3 games. Another one of those weeks. Newcastle away, Internazionale away, Chelsea away. So Jamie, how do you think we're gonna have to approach these next 7 games before the next international break? What are you expecting from those?
To be honest, I mean, the next couple of games, I think, Bournemouth away. Obviously, we'll come on to talk quite a bit more about it. I'm hoping it's going to be relatively straightforward. It's just one of those games you're going to go and win. Shakhtar at home is an interesting one. I'm glad it's on a Tuesday and that we've got a really nice long rest until Liverpool on the Sunday. I think that's actually nice to see. You know, if it had been one of those horrible short turnarounds of the Wednesday to the Saturday, and you're going into Liverpool, then I'd worry a little bit more about that. But as it is, you know, feels like we're going to have a good opportunity to have everybody fit and prepared. And then, yeah, it is all about those 3 November fixtures in the course of a week. It's got a banana skin in there somewhere, hasn't it? 100%. And what you'd hope to be in a position is at least you get the Shakhtar win out the way, and Internazionale maybe isn't the be-all and end-all. We've already got the win against PSG. I think for a lot of us, we kind of felt you needed one of the two. And you just want to be in a really strong position going into that you don't feel like everybody's absolutely busting a gut. Because those Newcastle and Chelsea games are going to be tough. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
At the moment, are a lot better team than they've been for a couple of years, aren't they? So that's the one that I'm looking at. But obviously, yeah, we need to get Liverpool out of the way first. The nice thing about Liverpool is just the fact it's sandwiched between that, you know, the Tuesday game that gives us a nice rest and the Preston game where I haven't even acknowledged it till now, right? It's a game. You go out and we'll see what happens. We don't mind too much, and you know, more than likely we're going to see a bunch of kids in that again. So I don't think I even want to acknowledge that as being a first team game particularly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Bournemouth is we'll come on to now, but it's a case of, you know, we might not have to risk players that may be on the fringes, and we want to basically focus on having everyone ready for next Sunday against Liverpool. I'd even suggest Shakhtar. I think they've. Again, we'll do a preview, but I think they've had a few pastings and we're playing at home. Again, we have now a squad that should have enough to get past these teams, and if not, then we can bring on the cavalry like we did against Southampton. So, I think we can't ignore these games. They're important. You know, Bournemouth, we need to accumulate the points. Shakhtar, we get the points, which then gives us breathing space. Which then we go full flow into Liverpool. Preston North End is just massive rotation. Give the squad a chance, and then you're right. If there is a banana skin, if we are to lose one game, even though I'll be there, I'll take the hit on the Internazionale game against them, because I don't want to. Well, to be honest, I've been away twice to see Arsenal in Europe, and it's both been 0-0. So a goal from anyone would be just have to feel something would be would be good. But yeah, I would take that, and yeah, those two games, Newcastle, Chelsea, got to show up, be our best, and take the points. So yeah, if we came out, how many is it? Five league games. If we came out, even if a couple of 12 points, you know, I think 12 points would be good.
I don't want to say 12 just because that involves a loss somewhere.
Yeah. I guess
I really don't want that to be the one that I think it would be, which would be the Liverpool game. So for me, it's either 13 or even 10. I would probably call, or I guess 11. It would be, wouldn't it? 11. Yeah. So either way, something that gets us. Something that means that we don't lose any of those games, I think, is more important for me, and primarily the Liverpool one, because they're looking very good. They're looking very organised. I'm amazed by their defensive record. The plus side is we know they haven't played anybody particularly decent so far, really, have they? They've had a pretty easy run. But also, you know, that's my number one, is that we don't lose to Liverpool and probably Chelsea as well. They're the real momentum killers, you know. I just want to make sure we keep going unbeaten at this point.
So that we're going to get 15 points, job done, easy. There we go.
But same as you. To be honest, I'd take an exit in the bloody cup and a loss out against Inter in exchange for 15 points. I just would. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, football doesn't work that way, does it? It's not offs, but and
it depends on the fitness of our players. And we'll talk about that. we don't know what state of people in. I mean, players are coming back, players have been played into fitness. So actually, those 3 games could be like, right, everyone, like, Marino's on fire, Sterling's up to speed, Jesus may have got a goal of somehow, and things like that. So it might be only Odegaard that we're missing, and even then, no, it's maybe too soon. So we could be at a position that we got our squad is pretty much at maximum effort, maximum fitness, and away we go. So okay, so moving on to our next game. So I'm just letting the dog in. Next game, Bournemouth. So Bournemouth away, 5:30 Saturday evening. What are you looking forward to and not looking forward to with regards to that game?
It's really hard to say because there's something about the fact that we've had the week and a bit off, or 2 weeks off, or whatever. Not knowing what the lineup's going to be, knowing that there's the potential there might be a knock to Saka, there might not be, not knowing what the updates are on a few of the players' fitnesses and so on. To be honest, I just want to see a healthy team go out. And I mean, Bournemouth are good. Bournemouth absolutely are good, but I think I want us to go out there, get a clean sheet away from home yet again, and come away with a 1 or 2-0 win. And I'm more than happy. Just get the car back on the tracks, basically.
Okay, good. So in terms of what I'm looking forward to is what new song that we're going to come up with, and there's going to be a fan hit, because over the last 2 years, we've had the Saliba song, we've had glorious, was it a 3-0 win and a 4-0 win in the sunshine. I think a couple of years back it was the Saliba with a great goal, and the Saliba song came out, and then last year was when Havertz was given the penalty. He opened up his account for Arsenal, and the Waka Waka song came out. So maybe it's now time for Calafiori, or I know he scored against City, but or Timber to get a goal and to kickstart one of their chants. That would be or even Marino. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a new name on the score sheet and a new song, because it seems to be a bit of a hotbed for coming up with really catchy tunes for Arsenal players. So
I'm absolutely amazed that we've still not got a Pitbull inspired Timber going on. I mean, it's got to be. I imagine the geezer who does the DJing at the Emirates right now has been ready to play that for like it's first time that Julian Timber scores a goal. It is going on at the end of the game, isn't it? 100%.
It has to. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe against Liverpool, even better. And in terms of what I'm not looking forward to, I think you touched it. How we're going to again cope with more injuries from the international break potentially. Like Saka came off in the 51st minute against Greece as England were losing. Martinelli, he played 5 minutes versus Chile. Now, when I did my research, I'm assuming that was the last 5 minutes and not the first 5 minutes, and then coming off. And I'm hoping I think he's got a bit of a calf injury, but he was still in the squad on the bench for the second game against Peru. So kind of been that bad, but you never know what international managers do and all the rest of it, and how also international players, especially with Brazil, they maybe they want to stay there and seem to be keen, even though they're not going to get a chance. And there's a lot of that sort of playing the game type stuff, just to have if you're not out of sight, out of mind type stuff. And so maybe it's a difficult one to say. And then who else? Then we had I think Havertz was kept back. I think precautionary. I think he'll be fine. But then again, he plays. Well, actually, he's had a break, so it's quite good. So he can play again and party for illness. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, what lineup? And also, as I said, again, we've had more minutes into our players, like Declan Rice. 2 times. No, I was going to say 2 times 90 minutes. No, he came off in the 85th minute against Finland. Woohoo! Yeah, 5 minutes break. Nice one, Carsley. But he scored a goal. We talked about Saka. Marino, on the flip side, Marino's got some minutes in his leg. 28 minutes against Denmark, 65 against Serbia. So that's actually really good for him. That was one that's needed.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, Saliba, 2 times 90. Calafiori, 2 times 90. Gabriel Margulies, 2 times 90, and he's coming back late because they didn't finish till like midnight UK time. Trossard, 2 times 90. Kivior played a game and a half, and so on. So again, it's players with minutes in their legs. Now, I'm sure the intensity is not the same as playing in the Premier Leagues, and the training's not maybe as intense. And actually, it's 2 games over 2 weeks where they're normally playing 5 games over 2 weeks. So, in a funny sort of way, it's a rest. It's a rest. So with that in mind, what do you think our lineup would be? Because also White. So if we look at defence, White, Timber didn't go away. White, I think, should be back to fitness. So starting with the defence, what do you think?
Benny White's been in Dubai or something, hasn't he? Let's face it. He looks forward to an international window, I'm sure, these days. But it would be interesting to see if he rehabilitates Ben White back in. Funnily enough, I mean, their biggest threat is obviously Semenyo, isn't it? On the right for Bournemouth, I think, and he does well. I think he's a fantastic player, actually, Semenyo. I really do like him a lot. And I don't particularly like the idea of Calafiori up against him, if I'm completely frank. I like Calafiori a lot. I like what we've seen with him. I think he's a really good front foot defender. I don't think he's fantastic against the tricky winger that wants to go inside. And he probably will improve on that. But he has got a little bit of whilst he's got a decent pace over a long distance, he has got the turning circle of an all tanker from what I've seen so far. So, I think down at their spot, if Ben White is in a good place and has been in a good place for a couple of weeks, and actually, I jest about Dubai, I'm sure he'll have been doing plenty of physical work over the last couple of weeks if he is, then Ben White coming into right back and allowing Timber to go to left back, who on the other hand, I think absolutely loves to go up against a nifty winger from what we've seen, I think would be where I'd be more comfortable that we're snuffing out, probably the one massive individual talent that I worry about with Bournemouth. That would be the first thing on the fullbacks. I think it's definitely one of the most interesting selections.
So it's funny that we had a question in the last pod from Alistair about Calafiori if he was to play against Salah next week, and as much as we love him and his going forward and a crazy horse way he goes around, or Italian stallion. Sorry, I should say Italian stallion. And I keep saying he's rough around the edges. There are concerns about going backwards, going forwards. 100 mile an hour, going backwards. Yeah, it's weird. So maybe you're right. Because you're thinking about Liverpool. Maybe we do that, and it's that balance between what we offer attacking wise, which attack is the best form of defence, versus what we need to have. So it's a brilliant problem to have. And the one thing I thought, and actually I made in my notes here, was actually you could also, as I mentioned, Gabriel Margulies finished late last night, and then coming back from Brazil, and then we'll have literally Friday training, if that, massage, and then straight to the game. Do we give Big G a rest and play Calafiori at left centre back? Which is an option, and I think that's one of his main positions. And that way, you bring Timber, you get White, Big G needs a rest. That could be an option as well. Which again, I think whatever back four he puts out with Raya, who again had 290 minutes, and by all accounts that's always fantastic. I don't care. I don't care. I think we any combination of those four is fine. It's fine by me. And so then now looking at the midfield, we've got interest in that. Partey's played every game, practically every minute, bar Preston. This is the longest run he's had in the team without being injured. But people are a bit. But I see mixed. That people are still a bit doubtful. People are saying he's been amazing. Merino, does he start? And thinking about what Arteta wanted when he bought him, I think we all thought Merino, Odegaard, and Rice. But Partey's now playing well. Odegaard's injured, and again Rice has had another 290 minutes. So where do you think we will go with the midfield? With the three midfielders, and then we'll look at the forwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, it feels like instinctively it's the right time probably for Merino to step in and get a start, doesn't it? So it'd be good to see him get a full game. Mm-hmm. Partey, I think, has been perfectly fine. I think a lot of the thing with Partey is he looks a lot less impressive these days for two reasons. Firstly, there's a lot less chaos in our games now, and I think Thomas Partey sometimes looks at his best in chaos because he's got those line breaking balls when we're on the counter. We very rarely get to counter these days, and then also he's quite good in recovering in defence, but not necessarily. The more stability there is, sometimes he doesn't necessarily look at his best. Is the point, I guess. So yeah, I think he's doing a good job. I don't think there's any problem with him still being in that midfield. And yeah, I mean, a midfield three of the three of them away down at Brighton might not be the worst.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, sorry. Same coast, isn't it? So, hey, Portsmouth, Southampton, who knows?
They're all the same. They all merge into one average football team, so it's fine.
But yeah, I mean, away from home, maybe it's all right. I don't know if there's enough invention there. I mean, maybe you just haven't seen enough of Marino that I still very much think of him as the guy who was at Newcastle, because I never really saw a great deal of him when he was in Spain, and think of him as a little bit more workmanlike than necessarily a creator. But then when I think about what he's done so far on the pitch for us, there's been some fantastic passes that he's sprayed about as well. But yeah, I do think probably just two of them for me. And you're looking at that third player, then as we've seen before, it's probably going to be Leo, isn't it? And that would be the midfield for me, at least, anyway.
No, you're right. Yeah, it could be an opportunity again, just to. It's usual thing is what we do. Do we go strong, win the game, and then rest people, or do like we did Southampton, start with a team that is capable, but then we have these guys in reserve. So again, if he starts Partey, Marino, and then maybe one other, but we'll come on to that. Then fine. Yeah, you're right. I don't think we need Partey and Rice, but in a way, there was one thing about Bournemouth that they're the number one team in final third recoveries or breakdowns or whatever. So they're very strong on that. So we need to nullify that part of their game. They're very quick on the break as well. So actually, having maybe Rice and Partey and Marino, it nullifies that, and then we just rely on our four forwards and our fullbacks to create the danger. So either way, Rice, we were so certain what he was, and now I think no one is certain what his best position is and where he's meant to be. Is he going to develop into a 6? Is he better at 8? But when he plays at 8, he sort of hardly gets on the ball. But then at 6, he still has some limitations, and he's got to learn in terms of how he receives the ball, how he plays out. He's a brilliant player, but I don't know what he is at the moment, and it's again like all of it. I don't really care, just as long as we're winning and he's playing.
I honestly don't think it matters that much. No. I just don't. I think the thing with sometimes people are desperate to bracket some of these guys. Ultimately, what they've got are particular skills and attributes that can be employed in a variety of different ways. And you look at how Arteta's used Rice, and he's used him in several different positions, and ultimately he's not looked at a place at 6 or 8 in various ways. And we know that the 8 at Arsenal, anyway, when you're playing left 8, you're going to get less of the ball because Martin Odegaard's going about hogging it all the time, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that is the way it is. A lot of the work is going to be off the ball at that point, and he does the role well. I think the nice thing is that we've got a player who's comfortable and top class at playing in either, and that's pretty great. Given there were long stretches where it felt like we needed players at both of those positions, and we've got somebody who can, quite equally contribute the two. Marino is obviously clearly more of a, I don't know. Is there something between a 6 and an 8 that's not 7? I don't know how these things work.
He's not a 7.
He's not. I don't think he's going to be the necessarily the guy who's going to press up in the way that Xhaka did towards the end. But then he does share a bunch of his attributes. So maybe Arteta gives him instructions that we don't see coming. But it's going to be really interesting across the course of the season and full availability across the midfield. I mean, the fact now we've got four guys that I think are very reliable. Let's not forget Jorginho's still there and could be an option as well. Yeah. And he's been, I think, in the games he's played this season, really, really good as well. I think he's had again another year where he looks like the calm head. So you pick him from the four of them, you're in a
Mm.
good spot. I mean, for this game, there's a little part of me going, do you just rest up Decky Rice on this one, actually,
Mm.
and say, do you know what, have this Sam Preston off. You've played plenty of
Mm.
top flight football, and let's get you in against Liverpool next week feeling pretty good. I say rested. In Arteta world, that actually means that you come on for 20 minutes or 30
Yeah,
minutes. But, keep them going. But maybe you actually go Marino party,
yeah,
give that an opportunity to breathe and see how it works. And I think that'd be the most interesting one for me. I'd be quite interested in seeing how that works over the course of a game.
no, it makes sense. I mean, I think the point I was trying to make in Rice is like, are we getting the best out of him? That sort of thing. So yes, he can do loads of different things, but I feel like this season, I think there's. I mean, he's not clicking yet, and that's fine because and it might come, after a long summer. It's just, do you know what was he might have in mind to get the best out of him, and it's more that. And again, that's where maybe some of us don't know, but you're right. We're lucky that even him at 80-70% in these positions is still a lot better than the majority of midfielders out there. So again, nice problems to have, and again, we've found a way to make up for Odegaard's loss. So that's no longer, how shall we say, an issue. But now we come to the front line, which is the most. Again, we're unsure, but we don't care so much about the midfield and defence because I think we're covered no matter what. But up front, I said, do we risk Saka? Do we risk Nelly? I think Havertz is fine, but do we risk Havertz? But then you're bringing in again Sterling, who's still getting up to speed. J9 is just suffering from massive confidence issues. I don't think there's a doubt that you play Trossard somewhere. I think more likely with the options that we have, we play him deeper, or like he's done with the two with Havertz, and they dovetail, etc., etc. But what about so we're assuming Havertz and Trossard. What do you think of who are the two wide options then?
Well, I mean, it is so hard to know because I do think, given that we have got this nice long run to the Liverpool game, in having, let's say, the game in the middle that you're not as concerned about, at least anyway. It's hard not to, if Saka's available, even if he is, not quite absolutely 100%. And I'm always reminded that the vast majority of players talk about the fact that nobody's ever 100%. And most top players are playing on injuries most seasons. I think I would risk him because Bournemouth they're a good team. They're a very disciplined team. And I think almost the most crucial parts of the side for this game for me in terms of where you need the performances are going to be the fullbacks. Because they play with a lot of width and they're quick on the counter, and it's going to be our wingers. We know that Kai Havertz is set in stone anyway. That's sort of nobody's shifting him at this point. And I think we need a big Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli game potentially to get at them because they're. Yeah, that's my kind of gut. I'm not one of these that wants to see Saka rested a huge amount. Do you want to see him play the next two midweeks? Yeah, it'd be ideal to not see him play a great deal of those at all. But I'm not concerned if he's available. I'd throw him straight back in.
Yeah, because I'd suggest. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Me personally, if there is a doubt, Liverpool is so big. I would potentially not start him. That's why we have Sterling. Nelly, I'd be a bit more. Nelly's a bit less of an issue. I'd happy for Saka not to start. Maybe come on, get a few minutes if we just need to give him some minutes. He's got Shakhtar in the middle of the week. I would in a way be risk averse, and I'd start Sterling. Would have J9 on the bench, and I'd have Martinelli out left and Sterling out right. And then see where he is. And if Saka say, okay, he's had a game off, give him a few minutes against Shakhtar, I'd start Jesus against Shakhtar, I'd start Sterling against Shakhtar. And we need 100% Saka for Liverpool. So that would be me. I would just be a bit more risk averse. And you can't forget about winning points now to win points later. So I get your point. But I think should have a strong enough team. And look, okay, so and this is the reason why. Look, we'll come on to Bournemouth. I think as you said, they're a decent team who, on face value, play good football, but also they're quite, I alluded to as well. They're also quite average in terms of they're 13th in the league. You know, played 7, they got 8 points, scored 8, let in 10. So and you're right, they attack well, but their just defense isn't so strong. So again, that's why we should. And I think Arteta's alluded to this. We should be able to go in at 70% and beat how many? What? Not 18 teams out of 20 or 17 out of 19, whatever number is in the Premiership. We should be able to go 70% to Bournemouth and win. And we should, yes, they play well, but there's nothing there to fear from them. From what I can see. So they lost to Leicester away. They beat Southampton, but who hasn't? They lost to Liverpool. They lost to Chelsea, but they were unlucky there. I think they played quite well and could have easily come away with more. They missed a penalty, so I think that was a decent performance. They had that 3-2, 2-0 down with 1 minute to go and won 3-2 against Everton. But again, that's more about Everton than Bournemouth, I'd suggest. But lost to West Ham, drew at home to Newcastle, and then drew away to Forest. So, yeah, there's nothing there that's going, oh, wow. They put in an okay performance against Chelsea, but nothing. 2 wins in their last 5. Maybe they should have got more. And, looking at some stats, they were higher on XG in 4 of those 5 games. So they do create chances. They are there. So what do you expect from them? What do you think the main? I mean, you mentioned Semenya. What else do you think we need to watch out for, and where could we exploit?
Yeah, I mean, I've always sort of been. Whenever I've watched Bournemouth, I think it's the wide players generally that I've been quite impressed by. And they've got obviously Semenya. There's Clive, I think, scored from recently. Yeah. In and out the team, I think at times, but Sinisterra, and there's plenty of decent
Tavernier as well.
So and also in midfield as well, I really do like Alex Scott quite a lot. He's quite young. He's not quite set the world alight since he's gone there, but he's very, very tidy. Really quite enjoyed him when he came up to the Emirates. And another thing, I guess, or another thing to watch for is Ryan Christie's set pieces always worry me as well. I might have seen too many of them when they were actually genuinely going in on a regular basis at Celtic, but I have seen that at the Emirates once before, I'm sure, as well. So yes, it's going to be tricky wingers. I think, one of the things I say I don't want to see is Calafiori. I want to see some at least playing out wide. I want to see somebody that can front up to them and is going to be able to have a little bit of recovery. Don't give away any kind of stupid fouls, because they have got decent set piece takers.
They've got height as well. Sam Billing.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's rare. Every time we play against Bournemouth, they're one of those sides, I think, that whenever they come up to the Emirates, you don't think about them all week, and they turn up on the day and you go, they've got some tidy players this lot, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they play a nice little bit of football, and obviously we've been in a couple of real bouts with them a couple of times now. So as long as it follows what's tended to happen down at their place, which is that we have tended to steamroller them at theirs for some reason, and then they've come up and produced some more tight games at our place. I'm happy as Larry. But yeah, I think it's going to start. It's going to start at the back, obviously, like any away game. We've got a team that is, again, unreal going up into these games and being able to produce a platform for the rest of the team to play off. And I've, for whatever reason, just have a feeling that they're going to be more conservative at home. And ultimately, I think we're looking at those attackers being able to have a great game. And I worry about that selection mainly. If I really want Trossard to be in there for the invention, I don't want to go with a flat 3 in midfield. I really want to see either Martinelli or Saka have to be in that team, I think, because unfortunately, if you go Jesus and Sterling, or you shift Trossard out and you go with the flat 3, I'd really worry about going away from home and having enough inventiveness, to be completely frank. I think, if anything, the what Odegaard does by being out is actually force us to have more individual talent up top, because you haven't necessarily got that invention in behind, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, statistically, they score on average 1.1 goals per game. We're 2.1. So this is all on paper. I know football's played on grass, but we're good on grass as well as good on paper. So, they let in 1.4 goals on average a game. We're only, was it 0.9? Their XG is about 12.2, which are underperforming. Ours is 13.1, which we're overperforming. But they get a fair few shots off. 5.1 per game on average. Compared to our 6.6, they create 19. They've created 19 big chances so far this season. We're at 27. But the statistic, that I was talking about earlier, is that the possessions won in the final third. They're number one in the Premiership. It's like eight per game. So if we can break that press, so that shows they're a high pressing, good pressing team, and they put defenders, I'd say, or when people are trying to play out, they're very strong on that. But if we can break that press, win the duels, win those matchups, in our first third, their final third, then I think there's plenty of space and opportunity then in behind, once you get through that into the middle and into their half, that we can then exploit. And we're pretty good at that. So if we keep possession, control the game, because another thing I think, especially watching the Chelsea game, it was very helter-skelter, very up and down, because they got pacey players. You said, Tavernier, Kluivert, Semenya, Sinistera. They've got very, very pacey players, so they don't mind it breaking up and then counter-attack, break up, counter-attack, and it was very helter-skelter, very up and down. So we've got to take that away from them. So control the game, win your battles, beat the press, and then we should have more than enough for them, either on the pitch or in reserve to again take all the points. And remember, away from home, our record is phenomenal. We don't concede many, if any. We score a ton. And I can't see that. Can't see us not continuing that. It will be a very, very big shock if it didn't. Football's stupid, so who knows? However, so there's never any certainties. But without that, what's your prediction for the game? What would you suggest is going to happen?
So main suggestion, I've got a feeling that we might get a corner goal, purely because Kepa is their goalkeeper, isn't he? And I have a feeling.
Is Kepa Kepa ex-Chelsea? Kepa now joined the.
Yeah, Kepa's there, isn't he?
No, I will. If you excuse any clicks and all the rest of it, I will find out.
Well, I'm going to go. Otherwise, apart from that, I am going to say another clean sheet away from home, because we do them well, and I think this is a game where we should be able to achieve that reasonably easily. I'm probably going to say, though, only 2-0, because I think a little bit disjointed post-international break, maybe. And I'd be very, very happy if we just came away with a really solid 2.
Okay, it's no, that's the goalkeeper. Yeah, right. Kepa's gone there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is he playing? Okay. Yeah, I guess. I
think if you watched the Chelsea game, he wouldn't have been playing, because I think he's only on loan.
Oh, maybe that was.
He wouldn't be eligible for that. They'd have had.
Because I'm thinking Mark Travers.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, no. Kepa's been in goal from when I've seen him this season. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm having a corner kick goal. I might even pop a little Sky bet on that or something. So other bet providers are available.
Yeah, all of them. Right. Okay. Good. So sorry, what was that? You said 2-0.
I'm going 2-0.
Okay. Statistics say it should be 2-1. I'm gonna just based on XG, based on all the rest of it. I'm gonna say 2-1, just to see if it's lies in statistics or whatever. So I'll say 2-1. But yeah, that seems a bit close, and that doesn't feel right. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3-1. 3-1. There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
3-1. Look, before we close out, we're going for 40 minutes now and all that. So there are a couple of other games of note, and this is now where we always pay attention. We always pay attention to what's going on and all the rest of it. But the games of note this weekend, in terms of our rivals, our rivals Wolves are playing some small team called Manchester City. So unfortunately, this isn't the Wolves of last year that did a number on them. But who knows? You never know. But
I'll tell you now the team I'm looking forward to. Have you seen the fixture list for Liverpool?
well, this is what I was going to come on to. Yeah, now Liverpool are actually going to start playing some decent teams.
I mean, for weeks and weeks and weeks now. I mean,
Good.
their fixture list is fantastic. They've got Leipzig, they've got us, they've got Brighton in the Carabao rather than Preston.
They got Chelsea. So this weekend they've got Chelsea.
Yeah, they've got Brighton, they've got Villa, they've got they've got Real Madrid coming at the up in November as well. And it's Real on the Wednesday, followed by Man City on the Sunday as well. So honestly, their fixture list now is absolutely relentless. So if there's a team I'm watching, City will just do City things, and Rodri being missing means they might drop a point or two somewhere. But I'm mainly intrigued as to what's going to happen with Liverpool because they've had a nice easy start under the new man, and whether they can keep that up. I mean, if they do, if they go through the next couple of months having got a decent number of wins, then fair play to them. They're going to be in it till the end with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, Wolves City. There's no hope there. Not even if Wolves. Yeah, is City going to win that one easy? That's unfortunate. I feel sorry because I like the manager at Wolves. His name disappears from my head at the moment.
Yeah.
O'Neill. Yeah. So I like him, but something's not right this season. They need to maybe this game gets them out of their slump, even if it's just a draw. Who knows? A puncher's chance. Liverpool Chelsea is interesting on multiple levels. They said Liverpool finally hitting supposedly a good team, or a sort of team in form. However, I don't know how tested have Chelsea been. Okay, they lost to City. They couldn't beat 10 men Forest the other week, and they could have easily won that. My God, that was like the maddest last 10 minutes of a game I think I've ever seen. The saves from both keepers, how it only ended up 1-1, but they couldn't finish off a Forest down to 10 men and could have easily lost that. So what sort of team's going to turn up at Liverpool? It's away, and I think Chelsea might be a sunshine team. So when everything's right and everyone's happy and they all going forward and all the rest of it, then they'll look good and they'll pull the wool over a number of people's eyes. But as soon as there may be a chink or there's adversity, I think that togetherness won't be there. You comparing to us, we are a team. They're a bunch of 11 players that are playing well together, but how many people are going to fight for each other on that pitch? How many people are going to make those hard? Do they have a Martinelli who's going to be like 1 minute trying to score a goal at one end and then next minute going to be tackling on his own goal line? Or do they have a Havertz in the 94th minute when you're winning 3-4-2? What was it, Southampton? 3-1 and doing the challenges still in the 94th minute. Do they have that? So I think they'll be thereabouts because they've got enough. You throw enough mud and some will stick, and that includes players and points. So they'll be thereabouts. But I think when the going gets tough, then it'll be interesting to see how they fare. So this one's an interesting one.
You just want to see. I mean, to be honest, I just want to see Chelsea go up there and cause them a lot of problems and start to, say it's a big run of fixtures. Individual one is not so much it, but I think certainly if they could go up there and take a couple of chunks out of them and just knock them down a little bit, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Well, yeah, a draw. I think I'll take a draw. I'll take 2 draws in those 2 games. They're very easy all now. So yeah. So I thought we'd touch on our rivals because it's now we're always looking and those 3 teams are in and around us. So there we go. So we're going to win. They're going to draw, and we'll be top of the league. Will we? I don't know. Let me just double check. My maths. We win going 20, and those 2 teams. Yeah, we'll be top of the league by 7:30. That's not how the song goes, but we'll take it. So, well, look. Just before I sign off. thank you to everyone for the feedback on the pod. We only did was it yesterday or the day before with Dave Seeger, Guna Dave 66, where we talked about his new book, Welcome to the Goonaverse, but as well we talked about his life as an Arsenal supporter. It was quite a touching pod. It got me going and all the rest of it. But yeah, it was incredible speaking to him, and so if you get the chance, have a listen to that. Buy his book. I don't think you'll regret it. It's really there'll be something in it for everyone, no matter what your age and where you are in your Arsenal supporting life cycle. I encourage you to go and listen and have get the book. Just Google it, you'll find it, and you can follow us on Threads at the Grove AFC. That's where we do most of our interactions. Bit on X, but mainly on Threads. So yeah, and we'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts, opinions, questions. You name it. So there we go. So look, Jamie, thank you for stepping into the breach in the so late on. I appreciate it. And when's your next game?
Probably not for a while, to be honest.
Right, still.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be in a position where towards the end of the season I'll be like I was last year and not miss one of the last 15, 20 odd games. But yeah, I think the first half is unfortunately not the best timing for me.
Okay, yeah, as I said at the top of the show, life gets in the way, and so be it. But we all follow Arsenal in our own way, and it doesn't lessen how much we support them or how much we care. So that's fine. And anyway, great to have you on the pod and hear your views and all that. And leaves me to say thank you very much for listening. We'll be doing a post Bournemouth pre-Shakhtar pod on Sunday. So keep your eyes and ears out for that. Okay. Thanks everyone. Ciao, ciao.